Mary Rentz has been one of the most incredible volunteers I can think of here in Pittsfield and the Berkshires in the arts and in really community revitalization.
Well, I always loved art. My sister, actually, who was 6 years older than I was art was the thing that she loved the most. When my family obligations and other things kicked in, I decided that I needed to make a choice, and the choice either to continue being an artist full-time or to help other people be artists, to help my children and other children through scouts and other things.
Mary brightens my day, no matter what. If we were struggling with hard issues at the board meetings, or if we are, talking about distribution of Girl Scout cookies or whatever it is, just being with Mary brightens my day. A phone call from Mary brightens my day.
I was involved in Camp Marion White as a Girl Scout leader. We camped, and I believed that outdoor education was really, really important. We were splitting wood, and I remember vividly having one of the girls saying, I can't do this, and you say, well, you think you can do it. You will yourself to do it, and it will split. And so she goes, and the thing split, and everybody cheered, and it was like, oh, yes, I can do it. That's just a symbol of the kinds of things that being in the outdoors that is wonderful for.
She brings groups of people together and knows that they all have something to contribute. Her job as a leader, as I have seen her work, is to pull out those contributions that people have to give.
I guess I have always seen my role on a committee or in a group or as a leader of something is not to say what is going to happen, but to draw people together who may or may not know each other, to find out what ideas they have, what strengths they have, and let the projects kind of grow. And it often turns out that the whole is much greater than the sum of the parts. Well, I got involved with Hancock Shaker Village because when I came to Pittsfield, I joined Welcome Wagon, and the director there came and spoke. So I thought, well, okay. A couple of my friends and I decided we'd volunteer out there and share a spot selling cookies in the good room, and the other two people would watch the kids, and we'd have a great time.
And one of the things I learned from Mary was the spiritual and religious aspects of the Shakers, which really are quite moving. And they're ones that they move Mary, and Mary knows how to make them move other people.
It's the sense of peace of that place, the sense of purpose, of ethics, of hands to work, hearts to God. It's something that just speaks to me, and the beauty of the place is really overwhelming. And the brownstone barn to me is like a cathedral. I've been in cathedrals all over the world, but you walk into that space and it's just magnificent. And it was built for a purpose, to house cows. It's a wonderful place, and I've been so blessed to be a part of it.
I think one of the things that's exciting about Mary is you realize that there's things that she's involved in that go under the radar screen.
She's involved with the Hancock Shaker Village quilts. She has designed them all for the past 20 years or so.
I started designing the quilts, and the quilts kind of speak to my long involvement with color and with design, as well as with fabric, because I grew up sewing, because my mother was a sewer. Almost all of the quilts we've designed have been directly related to Hancock in some way. They include the gardens, the animals, the histories that lie in the collections. And it's just been a labor of love.
I can't imagine the board at Hancock Shaker Village without Mary. Mary Rentz is the rock on which everyone else leans.
I was active with the Artscape Committee, and the committee was desperately seeking ways to raise some money to fund putting art downtown Pittsfield. And we came up with a plan to have a large public art project and felt that we needed to cast about to get other people to buy into that project. We really wanted Hancock Shaker Village involvement, and Mary was on the board of directors at that time.
The most wonderful thing that Sheeptacular did really was it made people smile on North Street. But it also showed people that art can have a positive effect. It can be inclusive and reach everyone, which is one of the amazing things Sheeptacular did. It was beloved by 3-year-olds and 83-year-olds.
With Sheeptacular, Mary, she believed in it from the beginning. She was so motivated. She understood the mission. And she took that project to a level that exceeded, I think, anybody who was involved's expectations. You know, we'd had a wonderful summer with all the sheep on the street, but we still didn't raise any money, and we still didn't know if anybody was going to buy the sheep. And you know, a lot of anxiety that evening. Over 800 tickets were sold. It was cold. You didn't know if people were going to show up. And the first sheep was auctioned off, and it went for thousands of dollars. And I looked over at Mary, and I got goosebumps. I mean, at that moment, I think we knew we were part of something so big and so special.
Mary was the driving force for Art of the Game, which was the next real large public art project. It takes a tremendous commitment of time and energy and passion, and she brought that to each of those projects.
We put 100 gloves all over the county, a lot of them here in Pittsfield. And in terms of loving and hating, the Yankees and the Red Sox, you know, the Dieter chair, those were absolutely wonderful. And there were things that were created by people who might not have considered themselves artists because they were children, but in some ways I think all children consider themselves artists. But it just gave people a pride in their city that we could do something.
One of the least known aspects, I think, of what Mary does is that she's been president of the Berkshire Art Association for probably at least a decade. And the Berkshire Art Association was very important in partnering with the Artscape Committee to bring about Sheeptacular. And then afterwards, with Artscape, the Berkshire Art Association and Artscape started the Pittsfield Art Show. And that was an annual weekend art show in downtown Pittsfield that brought up to 60 different artists from around the region.
It's an art association that's been in existence for over 60 years. It was more the excitement of helping other people, especially young people, realize their potential and learn through the creative process of making something that they could really had a voice, that they could really have a vision. And so for the last many years through the Berkshire Art Association, that's really what I've been involved in.
I don't know what Mary Rentz has up her sleeve next, but I would love to find out and help her because she does amazing work.